We just discussed about the Jenkins server configuration. In this session, what we are going to do here is we will understand the AWS environment first. Why? Because for you to understand the Terraform also, you need to understand the AWS environment first. So those who doesn't know what is this AWS and how we are going to work with this, let me show you something so that you will get a clarity about what we are going to do with this AWS environment and how we can create the EC2 instance and how to access that so that when we are doing the practical, it will be very easy for you. Okay. So now, what I will do, just wait for some 2 to 3 minutes so that if any further students are joined, let them join and we will continue. And this is the last demo. So previously we have seen the first and second demos. This is the last and final demo which we are going to work with. And from tomorrow onwards, those who are enrolled for the course, they will get the uh, different link. Okay, so just wait for a couple of minutes. Let us see whether the students are about to join or not. By 7:05, we'll start the session. Okay, let's start. So yesterday we discussed that I will discuss about AWS environment, how to create the VPC, what is meant by VPC, and all the things. Let us understand that particular configuration. See, in AWS, VPC means it's a network boundary. Okay, so in AWS, we will have the regions. So what is the infrastructure? The global infrastructure of AWS will be like this. Okay, region, availability zone, edge locations. So just for this particular topic, we need to understand the region and availability zones. What is meant by a region? Any geographical location where AWS is having the multiple data centers. Any geographical location. For example, in India, we are having, in Mumbai location, we are having the data centers. So that is a region. And in Hyderabad, we are having multiple data centers. So that is a region. AWS data centers, where AWS data centers are there, or else the geographical location is called as a region. So inside the region, we need to have the availability zones. So if you consider this as a region, so inside this region, we will be having the availability zones. So this is AZ1, availability zone 1, and then we will be having AZ2 and AZ3. Like that, you can have n number of availability zones inside a region. So region, and inside the region, you will have the availability zone. So now what is meant by availability zone AZ1? Availability zones are the areas or geographical location where you will have the multiple data center which will have the individual power supply and as well as the individual network connections. So what is the meaning of that? For example, in an availability zone, I am having a data center. I can have a data center. If this data center has to run, okay, if this data center has to run, the data center needs to have the high power supply. So the nearest, there will be nearest substations will be there, which will be providing the power for that data centers. And there will be a separate internet connectivity for this entire availability zone. So between one availability zone and the another availability zone, you need to have minimum to minimum 60 kilometers distance so that the climatic changes or else anything will not affect the availability zone 2. So when we deploy the application on availability zone 1, and if that application is successfully running in the availability zone 1 and we are providing the access to the end customers. So for example, I have deployed a bank application and the bank application is running fine in the AZ1. So now we have granted the access to the users, end customers. Now, the same end customers are trying to access the application. Suddenly, if the entire availability zone 1 is down because of any reason, the climatic reasons or also any network issues, AZ1 is down. Then that is called as a single point of failure. Why? Because we have deployed the application only in one availability zone inside one server. So then that is a single point of failure. So now what I will do, I will create the same configuration. I will create the same application in the another subnet of another availability zone. If I create the server in another availability zone, then what will happen? Then the application will not be destroyed or else the application will not be down. So still we have the application access from the second availability zone. So that's why they are called as availability zones to make sure that the applications are highly available for the end customers. We need to deploy the applications on the multiple availability zones. So even if one availability zone is down, still the users, end customers can get the access of the application from the another availability zone. So the distance between these two availability zones or else any two availability zones should be between 60 to 100 kilometers of range. If the data centers are there very near to each other, like within 1 kilometer range, then they will be considered in a single availability zone. If the data centers is created in one of the location, some X location, and after 60 kilometers, if there is any another data center, then these two data centers are considered as two different availability zones. The climatic conditions will be changing. In one availability zone, there might be a heavy rainfall and there is a distance of 60 kilometers. There might be a chance that on the second availability zone, we don't find that much heavy rainfall. So like that, there will be climatic changes. If the first availability zone is down, still we will have the access on the second availability zone and the application will be running on that. So in the same manner, so this is the in general global infrastructure. So we will have the regions. Inside the regions, we will have the availability zones. Inside the availability zones, there will be data centers. Inside the data centers, there will be some thousands of physical servers will be there. Inside the physical servers, we are going to run the virtual machines. Those virtual machines are nothing but our EC2 instances. So inside a data center, you will see like this. Data center. So this is how the data center will be looking like, or else, is there anything? Yeah, it's a cleaning of data center. Here you can see there will be so many cables are connected. Uh, this one, if you see this, look at that. So this is how the racks will be. Inside the racks, you will have the servers, and whatever he is installing, it is called as a blade server. So he is keeping the blade into the server. And here you can see this. These are the rack servers. This is the blade server, and here you can see there is a tower server. These are the multiple types of servers that you are having, and here under this you are having a storage configuration, and there are network configurations also. So this is how a data center will be looking like. Here we are having three racks, but in a data center there will be some hundreds and hundreds of racks will be there. And in each rack, you will have the physical servers like this. There are three rack servers and there are some blade servers. So like that, you will be having multiple servers will be there. Inside those servers, we are going to have the virtual machines installed. On top of that, we are going to run the EC2 instances. So this is how we are going to work with the AWS. I mean, this is how the data center will be. And now what we have to do. So this is the physical infrastructure. Now we need to think of the logical infrastructure. Now, what is the logical infrastructure that we need to think? So the logical infrastructure is there is a region. So inside the region, we are having the availability zones. Now this is AZ1, availability zone 1, and then availability zone 2, and then we are having availability zone 2. Okay. Now we are having availability zone. There is AZ3. Like this we are having. Now what is this? This is a region. Let me take US East 1. Okay. So in AWS, we are having so many regions. Among this, US East 1 is one of the region. That is the North Virginia region, the basic and primary region, the first region which are created by the AWS environment, I mean AWS professionals to deploy their own servers from North Virginia location only that the AWS has expanded its wings across the world. So North Virginia location is the home location for the AWS environment. So you can create in North Virginia location or else Mumbai location, Hyderabad location. If you see here, here you can see there are so many availability. I mean, regions are available. Among these regions, in any one of the region, you can create your own VPC. Now, this is me. This is my US hyphen East hyphen 1A. These are the availability zones. US hyphen East hyphen 1B and US hyphen East hyphen 1C. Only in North Virginia location, we are having 6 availability zones. So among those 6 availability zones, let us supposing we are taking 3 availability zones. Okay, good. So now my requirement, what is my requirement? For example, I got a customer or I got a client. So the client is asking me to create the to create an application and to deploy the application on the server. So how I can create the application and deploy the application on the server? To do that, what I am going to do over here is simply I need to create a network configuration. Try to understand this in a similar way in your company. For example, you have an IT company. In your IT company, you are having the servers. There is a separate server room is there. Inside that server room, you are having the physical servers. Now, the client wants you to create an application and test the application in your environment only. So where you are going to deploy the application or else where you are going to install the application. Try to understand my question. A client approaches to you and he says that I want an application to be created for my business. Please create the application and test the application. We'll build the application and test the application in your environment only, in your servers only. So now what you are going to do? Do you have the physical servers or not in your office environment?
Yes, we have.
Just imagine this. So, for example, I approach it to you and ask that I have an training institute. I want you to develop an application for my LMS application for my students. So, and when you develop the LMS application, test by your own environment. I cannot provide you the environment. You provide me the environment. That is what I said. What is the environment over here? So I want you to run the application in your servers, which means that you are having the servers. So the servers are in your network. the servers are inside your network. For example, you have only one branch. Inside the branch, you are having the server room. So all the servers will be running inside that branch only. Suddenly, for that office, if the power is down, suddenly for one day the power is not there for the office. Whether the servers will run,
No.
analyze the scenario.
No.
No. Okay. So now if I am having a branch office and I am going to create I am going to replicate the same servers in the branch office. And I will connect server 1 and server 2 to the same branch office and to the main branch. Now, if the main branch servers are down, still will you be able to access the servers now? Will you be able to access the applications? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because
Yes.
yeah. Why? Because you have the servers running in the branch office. That is what high availability. So, which means that now you understand one thing. The branch office and main branch both are in the same, what I can say, both are under the same company or not. Both are under the same network or not.
Yes.
So, how server 2 knows that server 1 is down without communicating between the branch office server to the main office server without communication? Server 2 won't know, no. So the server 1 is down. So definitely they will be under a same network. Is that clear up to now?
Yes.
So now
Yes.
this is the physical environment. Now take the same configuration to the AWS environment. In AWS, we are having a region. So I want to create a VPC. What is meant by VPC? Let us understand this. It is very, very interesting term. Virtual private cloud. What is this private cloud? If you see in cloud, there are three types of clouds. One is the public cloud, and the other one is the private cloud, hybrid cloud. We will not discuss more on hybrid cloud, but first of all, public cloud means the cloud which is able to access by anyone. So if you are having an AWS account, you can create your own AWS environment. You can create your servers. So which can be accessed by anyone through the web application or else through the web APIs. So that's a public cloud. And what is meant by private cloud? Private cloud means the infrastructure, whatever we are creating, that is applicable only to the particular company. Now, in the previous example, whatever you have seen, the servers in your company and the main branch and the branch office, main and branch office will be there. So inside that, you are having the servers. Are you going to provide the server access to any another person in your company? Any another person in the sense, any third, if there is an another company is coming to you and requesting that I want a share in your servers, will you provide that?
No.
No, no. So that's your
Yes.
private company property. So then what it is called as, it's a private cloud. So private cloud means the cloud which is owned by, or else the data centers, or else the servers which are owned by a single company, single organization, or else a single person. So that's a private cloud. So now if you see here, what is the VPC full form? VPC means virtual private cloud. Just forget about the virtual. So now what is meant by a private cloud? What is meant by private cloud?
Owned by our own.
Only those people
Yeah,
only can use it. Yeah.
any one organization can access the EC2 instances or else network, then that is called as a private cloud. So virtual means we are not going to see. Virtual means if you see here, virtual means imaginary. We are going to create an imaginary private cloud. So in the same manner, here also we are going to create this. Now, when we are creating the VPC, whatever the network that we are creating, whether that network will be connected only for a single availability zones or else it is going to be expanded across the availability zones. How VPC will be there?
Across availability zones because
Across the availability zones, which means that the VPC will be expanded across the region. So VPC is a region entity. Why? Because you create the servers in one availability zone and you can have the backup servers in the another availability zone, so that the primary servers are down and the backup servers will be functioning. So which means that The primary servers belongs to your company, the backup servers belongs to your company. Both are in the different availability zones, so they will come under a single network. So the VPC, whatever the VPC that we are talking, the VPC will be expanded across the region. So this is called as your VPC. Okay. For example, I will make it as dev-VPC, like development VPC. So it's a very big network. Okay. For example, if I provide the CIDR, classless inter-domain routing, it's an another networking topic. But anyways, I'm going to provide a cider over here, 10.100.0.0/16. So when we are providing /16/24, the meaning is that, so inside this network, inside 10.100.0.0 network, we will be having we can configure 65,534 devices, which means inside the VPC, I can create the servers of, when I give /16, the meaning is that inside that VPC, we can create 65,000 resources. Either it might be EC2 instances, it might be databases, it might be some another servers, like anything. Okay, so or else Elastic Beanstalk, anything which I want to create, everything will be configured inside the VPC only. Now to create this inside this VPC, when we are having some 65,000 services or 65,000 resources are there, like EC2 instances or databases, whether it will be easy for me to manage all those? Are you
Yeah.
able to understand? If there is a very big city is there, inside that city you are having some 65,000 people are there. So for those 65,000 people, if you are having a single police station or a single administration block, will it be easy for the administrative persons or else the police for manage the entire crowd? Is that going to happen?
No.
No, no. So what I have to do,
Yes.
I need to divide these peoples into the multiple divisions. Those are called as subnets. So whatever the network that you are seeing, the VPC that you are seeing, so this VPC will be divided into small networks. Those are called as subnets. Simply, if I have to tell you now, I don't know how many people are from Andhra Pradesh or some another location. Now in Tirumala, we are having some tickets are going to be released. When they say that if I am having only a single counter, then all the people will be pushing and pulling, and there will be definitely something uneasy thing will happen. But if I am having some 10 counters, which means that under the same network, under the same department, we are going to allocate some 10 counters. Among those, 5 counters will be in this locality and 5 another counters will be in another locality. Then what is going to happen? The people will divide among themselves and it will be very easy for to maintain. In the same manner, here also the same thing will happen. If there is a very big network, inside the network we need to have multiple servers, and these servers cannot be huge number. So I want to divide those into the small networks. Those are called as subnets. So which means that inside the VPC, I can create a subnet. This is my dev subnet, dev subnet 1 with the cider block with the network range. The network range is 192.168.1.0/24. What is this 192.168.1.0/24 in the sense? From the 65,000 resources, whatever the 65,000 resources that we have taken, from those 65,000 resources, we are going to create a subnet with the 256 resources. That is what /24 means. /24 means we are going to get 256 IP addresses. Among those, the usable will be different. So which means inside this subnet, we can have 250 devices. Now in the another availability zone, I can create one more server. I mean, one more subnet like this. And this is my dev subnet 2. This is my development subnet 2. And the CIDR block is 192.168.2.0/24. This is the CIDR block. Inside the subnet also, we can have 250 devices from this 65,000 devices. Sorry, it's not 192, no. The network is different. Sorry. What is the VPC network? The VPC network is 10.100. So the CIDR block will be 10.100.1.0/24. 10.100.2.0/24. This is the network CIDR. Okay, good. So now if you want to create a server, or else if you want to deploy an EC2 instance, you can create an EC2 instance over here. This is my dev-server with the IP address 10.100.1.some50. So this is the IP address of my development server 1. Now, if this development server want to access the internet, if the server has to access the internet, or else anyone from the internet wants to access the server, then what should be happen over here? So try to understand. You are inside your home and in your room. If you want to go outside of your home, okay, from your home, if you want to go outside, what are the hurdles you will have, or else what are the things that you have to step out? From See, from your room, you have to come out. From there, you have to come out of your home. From home, what should be done? There will be a gate, and you need to open the gate. From the gate, you will be entering into the public. So if the gate is not opening, then you won't be entered into the roads, right? So roads are total public areas. So internet is also a public area. Public area in the sense where anyone can get the data. So that is what we call it as internet. So now if I want to enter into the internet, or else if you want to step onto the road, you need to open a gate of your home. In the same manner, if you think VPC is like a home and subnet is like your room and server is the person. So for example, if this server wants to communicate with the internet, there should be an internet gateway we have to create. So there should be an internet gateway that should be connected to this VPC. So through this internet gateway only, I will be able to in the sense the server will be able to access the internet, or else the persons in the internet can be able to access the servers. So what is this called as? This is whatever the subnet that is directly having the access to the internet, that is called as a public subnet. Whatever the subnet that doesn't have the access directly to the internet, then that is called as a private subnet. So here you can see the subnet, and we are going to create an internet gateway, dev-igw. So if the server is having the access about this internet gateway to access the internet, then this is called as a public server. Now, first of all, we will create this infrastructure step by step so that you will understand the configuration. By default, whenever you created your AWS environment, in the AWS environment, what you are going to have here is in every region, you will have a default VPC. But what I do here is whenever I create my AWS environment, I will delete the default VPC and I will create my own VPC. If you want to have your default VPC, you can have it. I don't have any problem with that. But let me go to the VPC, create VPC, that is dev VPC. And the CIDR block is 10.100.0.0/16. So whenever you are creating the VPC, the AWS is saying that the VPC should be in the range of /16 to /28. Okay. So whatever the slash value, whenever the slash value is increasing, the number of devices inside the network will be decreasing. If you see /16 is there, so the total number of devices will be 65,000 devices. If I go for /17, then that will be 32,000 devices. If I go for /18, then that will be 16,000 devices. /19, then that will be 8,000. So like that, when the slash value is increasing, the number of resources that we can configure inside the VPC will be decreasing. So keep that in mind. So now what I'm going to do, create the VPC. Now the VPC is created. Okay. And I want to create the subnets inside the VPC. Create the subnet in the development VPC, and the subnet name is dev subnet 1 and the availability zone is US East 1A. So as per this diagram only, I'm doing this. In US East 1A, I want to create an availability zone with the CIDR block 10 dot 10.100.1.0/24. And again, I'm going to create one more subnet over here. This is my dev-subnet-2 in the availability zone US East 1B. And the CIDR block is 10.100.2.0/24 and create the subnets. Two subnets are created for the development environment. Now it's time to create the internet gateway. It is time to create the internet gateway. So let us create the internet gateway. Create internet gateway dev-IGW. Create the internet gateway and attach it to the VPC. To the development VPC, attach the internet gateway. Done. So now how the subnets knows that. So if I want to go outside of the internet, I need to go through the internet gateway. For that reason only, we need to have the routing table. For example, there is a passenger. If the passenger wants to travel from X location to the Y location, he needs to know the route. Without knowing the route, how passenger will travel from X to Y, so source to destination. In the same manner, for example, the source is the server. If the server wants to go on to the internet to fetch some data, so source is server and destination is internet. So the server should know, no, from here to here, if I want to travel, this is the route. So for that, what I have to do is I need to provide the routes in the routing table. Here you are having the routing table. So in the routing table, we have to provide the routes. So what are the routes that I have to provide? When you create a VPC, automatically with the VPC, you will have a default routing table created. When I go back to this, the route table is this. So this is the default routing table which has been created with the VPC. So this is my dev-RTB. So in this, I'm going to provide the routes. What are the routes that I'm going to provide? If the server wants to access the internet, when I give 0.0.0/0 means internet. If the server wants to access the internet, the access can be done through the internet gateway. So that is dev-IGW and save the changes. So we have specified it. So in the routing table, we mentioned the route. Uh, for example, what I'm saying from Hyderabad to Bangalore, this is the route. I specified the route. But if there are no passengers, then how the government will put a bus or put a train? So for that, we need to tell the passengers. So we have started a new service from this Hyderabad location to the Bangalore location. We have a new buses are available. You can travel over there. In the same manner, I need to tell to the subnets where the servers are going to be created. Servers will be created inside the subnets. So I have to tell the subnet saying that if the servers in your subnet wants to communicate with the internet, we have a routing table. Inside the routing table, we specified the route, how to travel to internet. So you can add into this. So we are going to add you into our routing table. So here we are going to edit the subnet associations. We are going to add both subnets into the routing table. So when we add both the subnets into the routing table, then what is going to happen? Whatever the servers that are created inside this routing table, they know the route how to travel to the internet. So this is called as a routing table. Now you understand what is a routing table and what is the infrastructure that we have created up to now. Any questions?
From internet we can connect with the resources, sir. You mean to say then you
From
or else
internet, we can connect to the resources and see if you are connecting to the internet. I mean, if you are connecting to the resource, first of all, that should be exposed, no? If without exposing for the internet, how you will be able to access it?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
See, you have a beautiful bike. You put the bike in your home and you lock the home and you went to some another place to play or else to meet your friend.
Yes,
Unfortunately, you lost the key. Unfortunately, you lost the key. Then if you want to access the bike, first of all, you need to enter into the home, no?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
To enter, you need to have the gateway. In the same
Mm.
manner, if you want to get the bike out of your home, you need to open the gate only, no? So in the same manner, if the server wants to communicate with the internet, or else
Mm.
internet wants to communicate with the server, both should
Yes.
know the route, no?
Yes, sir.
That
Yes,
is
sir.
what I'm saying.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
right. Questions, guys?
Uh, Hello, sir. Sir, how we count the cider?
Count the cider, that is a very big topic, buddy. But that is not the relevant topic also. But anyways, I will tell you one thing. So for any IP address, if you take any IP address, 192.168.1.100, whatever the IP that is assigned to your computer, if you see here, IP config. The IP address which is assigned to my computer is 192.168.0.100. And the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay, so what is this 255? Subnet mask will tell the IP address what is the network portion and what is the host portion. Okay, so again,
Okay.
network portion and host portion, these are all the different concepts. So here, if you convert this 255 into binary number format, you are going to get 8 ones like this. So this is the decimal number. 255 is a decimal number. If you convert that into the binary format, why? Because the computers or else the machines will know the binary language. So if you convert that into the binary language, you are going to get like this. So what is the meaning? Here you can see how many network bits are there. 24 network bits are there, and we are having only 8 host bits are there. Okay. So what is the value here? That is called as /24. /24 in the sense how many network bits are there. And what is this host portion? Host portion will say that how many devices can be there inside the network. So if I say there is an AWS class, try to understand, there is an AWS class. Inside the AWS class, I can have only 20 students. If I say that, no, this is not an AWS class, it's a Terraform, Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes class. But to make sure you understand the basics of AWS, I am telling you this. So if there is a AWS class, inside the AWS class, I want only 20 chairs. Now, what is the network range of this AWS session? I mean, AWS class, only 20. Now, whoever are the students that are joining, so I will give the enrollment number like AWS 01, AWS 01, AWS 02, AWS 03. So now if you see, what is not changing? The network name is not changing, but the user identity is changing. Here, whatever this 255 is there, no? So it is going to represent the network of this particular IP address. So this IP address belongs to 192.168.1 network. And whatever the host portion that is there, that is going to be represent the computer ID. For example, there is one more IP address, one more computer is there, 192.168.1.101. So for this also 255, 255, 255.0. Now if you see here, this is the computer 1 in the network and this is the computer 2 in the network. So if you see, both are in the same network. How you can say, if you see the network portion and as well as here in the first IP address also, if you see the network portion, both are the same, 192.168.1, 192.168.1. But if you see the host portion, both are different. So this is the computer 1 ID and this is the computer 2 ID. Like that, how many computers you can put? The slash value represents that. /24 means how many host bits are left here. There are 250, 8 host bits are left. So the binary numbers can be calculated like 2 to the power of h, where h is total number of host bits are left. Total number of host bits. So in the h value, if you replace the total number of host bits, then you are going to get 2 to the power of 8, that is 256. You can calculate. So in /24, whenever we give /24, you will be having 256 servers, or else 256 computers. If I give, there is one more network like this, 172.16.1.100/16. Okay, total how many network bits will be there if I say slash 16 means how many network bits will be there if I say slash 16?
2 to the power 16. 15
No,
minus 16 minus 1.
no, slash 16 means
255
16 network bits will be there.
255.0.
0. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So if you convert this, we will be having two network portions, and then you will be
Two
having
host.
two host portions. Two host portions in the sense
0,
0.0.
0.
So
Yes.
how many host bits are there? 16 host bits are there, right?
Yes. Yes.
So 2 power 16 means 65,536. You can calculate in your calculator. So that
Yes.
is what I said, So so when I give slash 16, you are going to get 65,000 devices. Okay. So if you see the network range over here, this is the network range. For example, if I am giving the network range like this, 172.1.101/16. Now, can you tell me whether these two IPs belongs to the same network or different network?
Same network.
These two,
Last
these
2.
two.
Yes.
Same
Same
network or
network.
different?
Same network.
Same.
Different network. You are seeing only the first octet. What about the second octet? So these two octets are the network octets, no? You have to check. Wherever you are
Okay.
having the network bits, those two are the network octets. So in the network octets, the first octet is 172. That is fine. But when you come to the second octet, what is the number? Here it is
Okay.
16 and here it is 17, which means that they both belongs to the different network. Okay. So now in the same manner, this is how you are going to calculate the slash value. Whatever the slash value that you are seeing, the slash value represent the number of network bits. If I have to give the lecture on this networking concept, again, it is going to take some 2 classes. This is not our agenda, but as you have asked me what is slash value and how we are going to calculate this is how we are going to calculate. Okay, clear? Whoever has asked me this question, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now come back to our topic. We are talking about the VPC. Inside the VPC, we have created the subnet. Inside the subnet, we want to create the server. So we have provided the route so that the server will be able to communicate with the internet and internet people can be able to connect to the server. So now there is a person who is traveling in a bus. Suddenly he wants to get down of the bus and he wants to enter into a shopping mall. When the person is entering into the shopping mall, what is going to happen? What will be, whether the shopping mall people will allow you very warmly or else what they are going to do when you are entering into a shopping mall. Or else if you want to travel from Hyderabad to Bangalore, so you want to travel via flight, how you will be traveling? So first if you want to enter into the airport itself, what will happen? So simple, guys.
Security check.
Security check.
Obviously, security check will happen, no? So you are coming from the public. You are coming from distinct location. You are coming from the public network, okay, public domain. So the airport authorities don't know what you are carrying. Are you carrying any sharp objects? Are you going to carry any bombs? So we don't know that. So that we will be having a security check. Or else if I am traveling also, everyone will be going through the security check. In the same manner, if any traffic that is coming from the internet, if any traffic that is coming from the internet, it won't be the secure traffic. So then what I have to do here, there should be a security guard who is going to check the traffic and allow the data into the server. For that, we need to have a security group. A security group is like a security guard which is going to check whether the traffic, whatever is coming, the is the required traffic or else it's an malicious traffic. So that can be checked over here by opening the ports. So we can open the ports. For example, if I want to SSH port number should be open. I don't want to open all the ports. Okay, if I open all the ports, there will be malicious ports, and there will be some of the ports are not. There will be Trojan ports will be there, malicious ports are there. So which should not be open. So only a specific port should be open inside a server. That can be handled by your security group. Okay, so now here we need to create the security group. So already when you create a VPC, by default, you will have a default security group will be created. If you want, you can edit the inbound rules. It's my dev-sg inbound rules and outbound rules. What is meant by inbound? Inbound means any traffic that is entering into the server is called as inbound rules. Any traffic that is going outside of your server is called as outbound traffic. So inbound rules, edit inbound rules. As of now, I'm going to allow all traffic. But in general, when you are working in a company, it's a demo session. I don't want to choose port 22, port 80, port 443, port 8080. So like that, I don't want to choose. So simply what I am going to do here is I am going to allow all the traffic. This is for the demo purpose, guys. Don't do this in your company environment. Okay. So in your company environment, you have to open the requested port by your developers or else by your authorities. So I just saved it. Now the inbound rules are done. So now what is going to happen? Whatever the traffic that is coming from the outside, the traffic will be allowed into your servers. Okay, good. So the infrastructure is created. Just think that for our company, a data center is created in which I can create some 65,000 servers. Among those, a few servers will be in availability zone 1 and a few servers will be in the another subnet of availability zone 2. Here you can have different subnets, but all the subnets will be, all the resources inside the subnets will be communicating with each other. The server in public subnet will be, the server in subnet 1 will be communicating with the server in subnet 2 by default. You don't need to create a route for that. By default, within the VPC, all the servers will communicate. Just go back to the example where I have given main branch and another branch office is there. If server in main branch will be continuously communicating with the server in the branch office. So in between, why? Because they belongs to the same organization, same private network, they will communicate with each other. In the same manner here also within inside the VPC, whatever the servers are there, their servers will defaultly communicate. Okay. Now let me launch the EC2 instance. I'll go back to the EC2 instance. Before launching the EC2 instance, we need to create a key pair. Key pair is very crucial for launching the EC2 instance. Key pair is just like an entry and exit, entry point for your server. So for example, you have your gates, just previously I said, so there is a bike in your home and if you forget the key, so you will carry the key with you, which is a private one. So whatever the key that you are carrying, that is a private one. And the lock which you put onto your gate, that is a public one. Everyone can come to your home and you can see the lock saying that the user is not there inside the home. If the lock is not there, then they will understand the person is there inside the home and they will come into the home. If the lock is there, then they will see that and they think that the person is not there. So lock is a public key. But to open that lock, whatever the key that you are carrying, it's a private key. That key will be only with you. You are not going to share it with any another person. Or else within your family you can share. But for the third person, you cannot share it. No. So in the same manner, whenever in the server, whenever you are creating an EC2 instance, we are going to create a key pair. So the name itself says that key pair. Key pair means public key and private key will be there. So create a key pair. The key pair name is, for example, delete later. I want in the PEM format, PM format, and create the key pair. When I create the key pair, here you can see a key has been downloaded into my system, into my laptop or into my workstation, which means that it's a private key. This key will be available with the user. Just like how you are carrying your key in your pocket, in the same manner, I have this PEM file in my laptop. Now there is a key that is available in the AWS environment. This is the public key through which I can I can create the server or EC2 instance. Now you understand about the keys here. Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir, no.
Okay. Instances, launch instance. This is my dev-server. And here you can see, before I show you, before how you are selecting this EC2 instances. Now, if you see here, I want to deploy the server in the dev VPC in dev subnet 1. So if you see, auto assign public IP is disabled, which means that the server will not get the public IP address. So the servers which are exposed to the internet should get the public IP. Then only we will be able to access. What is meant by a public IP address? So now, for example, in my home, my name is, I have a pet name. Everyone will call me let us take Chaitu. Okay, my name is Chaitanya. So everyone will call me as Chaitu in my home. When I go outside into the public, there will be so many Chaitanyas with the pet name as Chaitu. Okay. So when I go for a gathering, I don't want to be called with my private name. So why? Because if someone calls with the private name or else the name which is used inside my home, so many people will respond. So in the public gathering, everyone should call me with my public name. That is Chaitanya with my surname. When they call me with my surname, then I can answer them. So surnames are the unique ones. So those are the public names which are given to a person. So public name for a person, there will be a public name and there will be a private name. In the same manner, if if I want to access any server over the internet, then that server should have the public IP. Why? Because the request is coming from the internet. So inside the internet, you can have multiple same private IPs. So if the public IP will be unique for that particular company or else for that particular network, the public IP will be unique. So the server should communicate with the public IP only. But within the organization, you can communicate with the private IPs. So right now, what I have to do, I need to enable this. So if you don't want to enable manual way, so select enable like this. If you don't want to do, so simply what you can do over here is in the VPC subnets dev subnet 1, edit subnet settings, enable auto assign IPv4 address. When you enable this node, then here you don't need to enable it. Automatically it will be enabled. So if I refresh it, look at here. When I go to the network settings, if I select dev VPC, look at that. For dev subnet 1, it is automatically enabled. Why? Because in the subnet settings, I have enabled the auto assign public IP. So this is what you can do. And the next one is, let us create the EC2 instance. This is my dev-server, and I want to have the operating system inside my server as Amazon Linux. So you can select this, or else you can select the Ubuntu or Windows. Depending on your requirement, you can select the server. I am going with the Amazon Linux. EC2 instance is T3 micro. And here you have to select the key pair. So we have created the key pair now, delete later key pair, you have to give them. And in which VPC you want to run this? In the development VPC, in the dev subnet, and I am going to enable the public IP. We already created the security group now. So select the security group. That is the default security group. So the configuration is done. So what we have done, we name the servers, we select the operating system that should be running inside the server, and we have selected the instance type, which server is required for me. There will be smaller instances too. Large instances are also available. I have selected the free tier eligible instance and the key pair to log in into the server, and the VPC in which the server has to be deployed, and the security group, so that whenever any request that is coming from the outside, this depending on the security group only, the server will allow the request or else deny the request. And here you can provide the IP address, private IP address of your server. So that is 10.100.1.50. So that is what the IP address that I have given here. Okay. And launch the instance. That's it. You have deployed the EC2 instance. Now here you can see the EC2 instance is available. It is running. So how you can access this EC2 instance? To access the EC2 instance, we are having so many applications. One is Putty, and the other one is like PowerShell or else Mobile Extreme. Like that, you are having so many different applications or terminals are available. For today, what I will do here is I will access my server with the PowerShell. PowerShell, CD downloads. In downloads, we are having the private key file is there. If you see inside the downloads, we are having the private key file is there. So this file is helpful for us to access the server. So how I can access it? SSH-I delete later pem EC2-user. So the default user for the Amazon Linux is EC2 user. The default user for the Ubuntu is Ubuntu. The default user for Red Hat Linux is EC2 user. For different operating systems, the users will be different. @ what is the public IP address of the server? Copy the public IP and give it over here. And try to log on to the server. So if you see, we are into the Linux environment. See that EC2-user 10.100.1.50. So if you see sudo su hyphen yum update hyphen y. So this is how you will be able to access your servers. Okay, how you can create the server in the AWS environment. If you have any confusions, I hope you understand this by displaying this VPC configuration. Any questions? Up to now, any questions?
No, sir.
Do you
No.
do you understand the topic?
Yes.
Okay. So can we start Jenkins tomorrow? If you are clear with this topic, how you can create the servers, how you can access the servers. Can we start Jenkins from tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right. So with this, we have successfully completed the demos in which we discussed about creating the VPC, configuring the VPC and all the things. And from tomorrow onwards, we will start on Jenkins. We will discuss about the highly availability configuration of Jenkins, and then we will go ahead into the Terraform.
Sir,
I hope this
actually,
is.
VPC for the high availability zones only, sir. High availability purpose only. Right.
VPC is for
availability.
defining the network,
Okay, sir. Okay. Even one
not
is
for.
failed.
See, 1 second. Inside a VPC, you can have a single availability zone also. You can have your subnet in a single, only one subnet you can create inside the VPC and run the applications. That is not a picker case. VPC is an network boundary for your organization. See, you want to purchase a plot. Okay, there is a very big land is that on that land they have laid some plots. So
Okay,
you
sir.
purchase a plot. Now, how you are going to define that this particular piece of land belongs to me? You are going to construct a compound wall saying that this particular area belongs to me. In the same manner, VPC is a network which is going to be isolating the resources from the another network, saying that all these resources belongs to a single organization. You can have a single subnet or multiple subnets, multiple availability zones. Like that, you can have highly availability configuration. But what is a VPC? VPC is an isolated network to configure the resources. That's it. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah.
Right.
No,
Question.
Chaitanya,
Yes.
how long this course will be?
30 days.
So
30 working
days.
hours. 30 days. Why?
Okay,
Because
okay.
we have to discuss about the Terraform, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. I cannot tell you on basics, right? I have to go in deep. So for that, it will take minimum 30 days.
No, complete course 30, is it?
Yeah, complete course is 30 days.
Okay.
Any questions? Okay, let me give a clarity. The duration will be 30 days, and the session will start at 7 a.m. in the morning. And the course time, we will be getting the videos and documentation for all the topics which we have covered, which we are going to cover. Okay. Anything else, guys, from your side? From my side, I'm done. So if you have any further questions, you can ask me now. Any clarifications you require, you can ask me now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
One question.
Yes, Amit.
Just want from experience, will the course can be completed in 30 days? Just wanted to check. Will we be covering all the topics in 30 days? Or it,
That is what I said you. Minimum 30 days.
okay, sure.
I said you minimum 30 days. I cannot promise you that it will be completed in 30 days. Okay. But depending on the crowd interest, if the crowd is more interested, more responsive in the classes, see, if a player is there, he is playing in the ground. If the crowd is cheering for him, he will play with an extra energy. In the same manner, if the faculty is there and if he is expecting the answers from the students, if the students are more responsive in the session, then the class will be live. And interestingly, he will try to include some more topics, a few more topics, so that you can get a more knowledge on that. If the class is totally dumb, sitting calmly, doing nothing, whenever if the question is asked, nobody is answering that, then the faculty will say that, okay, let us go. He will try to explain in each and every manner. But if you are not responsive, you are doing your works, obviously the interest will be less and he will skip some of the topics. Even so, that is what in the nature itself. If your manager come to you and says that you are working very fine, try to do it more effectively, then you will have a boost. Okay, someone is noticing me, so I will try to put some more efforts on this so that I can get some more extra benefits. Here also the same thing will apply. If the class is live, if the candidates are talking to the faculty more responsively, then obviously you will get more and more and the days will be prolonged. Otherwise, the days will be shortened. So I can say that. Okay.
Yep. Why I ask this is, I can see it's the course curriculum has Kubernetes in depth and, which I'm interested in.
Mhm.
So, just wanted to check, we'll be covering everything
I
in.
understand. Yeah, yeah. Yes. We will be covering everything.
Sure. Thanks.
Okay, guys. Right then. Have a nice day. And so my small request is that so whoever are talking or else whoever are talking in the session when you get a call, so nobody is responding, I'm getting that feedback. So we are asking you for a feedback call. Whether if you are interested to join, just say that we are interested to join. If you are not interested to join, then say the same. Just pick up the call and say that we are not interested to join. And yeah, I know you, Ben. Okay. So some people will be, I know you might be in a very hurry. Okay. Because of that, you might not pick up the calls. But one small request is that this is the last demo. So tomorrow onwards, you have to continue with the session. If you want to continue with the session, definitely you need to enroll for the course. So don't make it delay. So that is what one request from my end. Okay. So they are also saying that, sir, the people are not lifting the call. What I have to do every time when we are calling. So if you are interested, you can just pick up the call. I will pay on this time. If you're not interested, no, I'm not interested. We'll see it later. Okay? So that's it. Have a nice day, and we'll meet in the next session, guys. Bye.